Health, they say, is wealth. As such, they need to ensure a healthy living. Outbreak of diseases, however, pose a serious challenge to one's health. The outbreak of cholera, an infectious deadly disease in Nigeria, which has resulted into many casualties, is therefore quite worrisome and of public importance. What measures can be put in place to check its spread and mitigate its negative impact on the society? This is our focus on today's edition of Panorama from Ibadan Network Service of the NTA. I am Larry Du. Welcome you to the program. President Tinubu signs executive order to introduce zero traffic excise duty and value-added tax VAT on imported pharmaceutical products. The order introduced zero tariffs on specified machineries, equipment and raw materials, aiming to reduce production cost and enhance our local manufacturers' competitiveness. Specified items include essential raw materials required for manufacturing of crucial health products like drugs, syringes and needles, long-lasting insecticides, nets, and rapid diagnostic kits. The order also provides for establishing market-shaping mechanisms such as framework, contracts, and volume guarantees to encourage local manufacturers. According to the Minister of Health, Ali Pate, the order mandates collaboration among the Ministries of Health, Finances, as well as Industry, Trade and Investment to develop a harmonized implementation framework, expediting regulatory approval and reducing bottlenecks. Pate said agencies include Nigerian Customs Service, NAFDAC, Standard Organization of Nigeria, and Federal Inland Revenue Service will ensure implementation with special waiver and exemptions effective for 2 years. 103 Nigerians deported from Turkey has arrived Nigeria. Ruth Aguele reports that they were received at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons.
What is our Nigeria embassy doing? What are they doing in Turkey?
Expressing grievances over alleged mistreatment by their host country, Turkey. These are Nigerians who have been forced back home for alleged breach of migration laws, including overstay of visa and irregular migration to the country.
13 years I've been in Turkey, and I have my company registered in 2018. So I've been doing my legitimate business in Turkey, freight forwarding. I am trapped right now because they cancelled my residence permit just because I changed my house address.
Ever since when I have been in Turkey, I've been having residence permit, you understand? It just got expired and they collected $700 from me for tax and insurance. I did not see my $700, I did not see my resident permit.
But this is not the end of life.
As part of its mandate to protect the rights of migrants in the country, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons expressed federal government's commitment in ensuring that they are reintegrated into the society.
Now that we have them here, we are hoping, to follow up on all the allegations. As you see, we gave them forms to fill, profiling forms, follow up on all of them, those that require support in whichever way we will do it.
Whatever the situation is, these are Nigerians, and Mr. President has directed to come and do a befitting reception for them.
103 meals were received by the federal government, with starter packs and stipends given as part of short-term intervention measures. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
Need for Africa to return to moral, ethical, and purposely model of leadership to enable the continent to overcome its contemporary leadership challenges is being re-echoed. This time it was at the public presentation of 3 books written by Nigeria's former ambassador to Mexico and Canada, Professor Yoshe Haiga in Abuja. Chukunonso Nwabweze has the details.
The 3 books, Leadership, Leading Africa Out of Chaos, Beyond Ethnic Grievances, the Jukun Thief Crisis, as well as the English language and its discontents with other essays, not only draw attention to the oppressive nature of the English language and the need to change the narrative, also proffer practical solutions to leadership issues in Africa.
The title, bold and unflinching, immediately sets the stage for a narrative that finds a dwelling at the crux of the continent's most tumultuous of landscapes, leadership in political governance.
The Jukun Thief conflict is mirrored as just one instance out of the number of violent conflicts in the catalogue of ethno-religious unrest plaguing communities and nationalities across Nigeria.
The most interesting aspect of this book, which forms its title, I believe, is a continuation of the debate of the use of the English language as a lingua franca in Nigeria and indeed some African nations.
The author is hopeful that the books kickstart meaningful conversations, inspire positive change, and contribute to a deeper understanding of the complex situations and opportunities facing Nigeria and Africa.
We need to all collectively come together and find a solution to build a strong nation where we are not subjects, but we are all citizens. A strong nation where our democracy means that the citizen is the king.
Why Professor Hai is trying to redirect us, we, especially we who are participants, and we who call ourselves leaders, do we have the capacity or the comprehension to know what leadership is all about?
It's a time for Africa, since we all know it's the next world. We must sit down with ourselves. The leaders must be purposeful in their style of leadership.
With many scholarly works to his credit, this set of publications by Professor Yoshe Haiga coincide with the commemoration of his 75th birthday anniversary. Chukunonso Nwabweze, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army, through its Quick Impact project, has upscaled the teaching and learning environment of some schools in the education sector of Oyo State. Correspondent Oyeyinka Omole reports that the gesture is aimed at strengthening the Nigerian Army civil-military relations within their environment.
Following the level of maximum cooperation enjoyed by the Nigerian Army from Nigerians in confronting security issues, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, considered it pertinent to give back to the society through the Special Intervention Civil-Military Cooperation Project. The Chief of Army Staff represented said the choice of the school for the project was born out of the need to enhance teaching and learning environments.
The execution of these projects is designed to further sustain the jointness, cooperation, and collaboration Nigeria requires from the civil populace as we discharge our duties.
Chief of Civil Military Affairs Nigerian Army, also represented, explained that the project formed part of several military civil-related activities across the country.
I am confident that this project will serve the collective needs of the people of Ibadan and the entire Oyo State.
The project handed over to the Oyo State government by the Nigerian Army was a renovated block of 6 classrooms and newly constructed cafeteria.
The clear expression of what the institution the Nigerian Army represents. The students of this school to make the most of this new facility, particularly in the areas of maintenance.
For continuous robust civil-military relations, the officers solicited more support from the people towards addressing dynamic security challenges facing the country. In Ibadan, Oyelinka Omole, NTA News.
You are still watching Panorama on the network service of the NTA. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
You're welcome. Oyo State government has taken steps to prevent cholera outbreak in public schools, communities within and around the state by recommending that oral rehydration salts, ORS, and other preventive measures be made available in school clinics and health centers to manage dehydration cases promptly. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Oluwa Feromi Adejumobi, said this while speaking on the efforts of the state government at ensuring there is no case recorded in Oyo State. Rofia Animashan Badmos has the details.
For health in Oyo State has reiterated the efforts of government, which included the deployment of LGA, DSNO promotional jingles in English and Yoruba, running in different media houses, immediate inauguration of the Cholera Technical Working Group, putting IDC Olodo into active mode for isolation and management, reaching out to all surveillance rangers at the local government area level to intensify surveillance activities, posting of cholera case definition on the platform of community informants for updates, awareness, and sensitization of the gatekeepers and other well-established community structures.
We have not recorded any positive case, but we have set machinery in motion as far as the State Ministry of Health is concerned. Even before now, we have trained all our disease surveillance notification officers. We have trained all our community informants on emergency preparedness.
We are promoting the practice of hand washing, which is going to play a significant role in reverting the spread of cholera if there's a possibility of it coming. And then every person has been told that when you have any signs or something that suggested of it, they should not sit back at home, they go to the hospital.
Some members of the public expressed their level of awareness of cholera and steps taken to combat it.
I'm aware of the cholera outbreak in Nigeria, and it's caused by vibrio cholerae bacteria. To prevent it, we have to ensure good water, good sanitation, and keep a proper hygiene.
Like when if food that you cooked 3 days ago, then you just carry it anyhow, the way you are hungry and you eat it, I think that is one of the causes of cholera.
I always make sure my environment is very clean as usual, but at least I've increased the rate in which I clean my environment to prevent cholera and make sure I create awareness in my area too.
The commissioner therefore appealed to all to be safety conscious and always drink water only from clean sources and practice good personal hygiene by washing hands with soap and water frequently in Ibadan. Wafia Animashan Badmos.
With me in the studio is Dr. Babatunde Akintunde, field epidemiologist and consultant public health physician. He is equally the director, public health of Oyo State Ministry of Health. You are welcome to Panorama.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Cholera is said to be a communicable disease which has claimed many lives recently in the country. What are the causes and prevention of cholera?
Thank you. I think we need to know what cholera is. First of all, it's an acute and highly infectious disease caused by a bacterium called Vibrio cholerae, and it is characterized by severe diarrhea, which looks like rice water stool, dehydration, weakness, vomiting, thirst at times, fever. So those are the symptoms of cholera in someone that is infected with it.
Okay. In what ways can it be contracted?
Yes, thank you so much. I think there are several ways in which cholera can be contracted. Firstly is that when you see it, if it is very difficult to access potable water and basic sanitation, then cholera thrives in such an environment.
Okay.
Then apart from that, if someone probably after defecating does not wash his or her hand, then begin to eat or probably serve food to people, then that can also spread cholera. Apart from that, I think when we eat raw vegetable and fruit without washing it, then if our hands are not washed before we eat our food, that's another. Then indiscriminate, waste disposal can also cause it. Then at times when water, or most of the times when water or food that we eat, when they are contaminated with this febrile cholera that I mentioned the other time, then it can lead to cholera.
Okay.
So there are several ways. In fact, that's why during the epidemics, we say that people should not gather together, probably in a large, gathering, because it spread through that form.
Beautiful. What is the correlation between open defecation and the current surge of cholera in our society?
Yes, there is a correlation between the two. If someone that is infected with cholera goes out there and defecate openly, there are two things that can occur that will lead to cholera outbreak. One, if rain falls, that's why we say that people should not do that. And rain falls on it and probably push it down to the water bodies, and people drink
from
it. That can lead to it. Then secondly, if flies
perch on it,
and at the end of the day touches our food, or probably any other thing that we consume, it can also lead to cholera.
Okay, beautiful. Now, is it preventable?
Yes, it is preventable, because I said the other time when I started, I said it normally thrives where we have a compromise in access to basic sanitation and potable water. So if all these things are supplied, then the incidence of cholera will be on the low side. Then aside that, I made mention of people not washing their hands before they eat or after they might have defecated. So all those things, they need to put it into consideration if we must reduce the incidence of cholera. Then we should avoid, especially in times of during the epidemics, we should avoid gathering together in a place that we know a lot of people probably are there, and that can spread. Then it can also be prevented if we boil our water, especially those that cannot afford probably buying bottled water and some
bomb water.
Yeah. So all those ones can be done to prevent it.
Okay. What measures can be have been put in place, especially in your state, to prevent the outbreak?
Yes. Before the outbreak in Lagos, the executive governor of your state has given us a mandate through the Honorable Commissioner for Health that we should ensure that the health of the people of your state should be secured. And how did we do that? We've started training our disease surveillance and notification officers. These are the people that are on the field to know if there are suspected cases. Apart from that, we have built the capacity of community informants. And these are the people that reside in the communities. They know if people are having symptoms. And we have already taught them the symptoms, especially if someone is having diarrhea. So they notify the disease surveillance and notification officer, who in turn will notify us in the state. Then in terms of risk communication, that is the key there. We have played a lot of cholera jingles. It has been heard across major radio stations in Ibadan. Then we have had a lot of compound meetings. We have sensitized our people. We have mobilized them. We leverage on the community structures, such as World Development Committees. Our health educators, they have gone there to educate them on how cholera is being contracted and how it spreads. Okay. So aside that, information, education, and communication materials, that is IEC, that's also been in circulation. Provided is in circulation too.
Thank you very much. Your advice to Nigerians on preventing the disease and the need to have the ORS, that is the oral rehydration salts, available.
Yeah, I think it is important. When we look at how it started in Nigeria, I think as far back as 1972, it started in 1972. The major outbreak that we had was in 1991 that killed a lot of people. Since that time, I think we are still having it, but not as the one that we had in 1991. Then if we must stop it, the advice is that people should adhere very strictly to hygiene practices, both personal and environmental hygiene. I think is the key. Then we must ensure that we drink potable water. Then we should wash our hand before we eat, and after defecating, then we should also wash our hand. I think these are then indiscriminate disposal of waste or excreta should be stopped. As I said the other time, if that is done, then it can be washed into the water body, then people can drink from it, then we have outbreak of cholera again. So if those things are stopped, I think it will be minimized.
Thank you very much. I have been speaking with Dr. Babatunde Akintunde, Director, Public Health, Oyo State Ministry of Health, and he is equally a field epidemiologist, consultant, public health. Thank you for finding time to grace Panorama for today.
Thank you.
Panorama continues shortly after this break. Stay with us. Moving ahead, Oyo State Police Command has rejigged its security architecture to accommodate more actionable tools to clamp down on criminal elements within the state and its environs. Grace Anyoleke reports that this is coming as Ayodele Shonubi resumes as the 46th Commissioner of Police, Oyo State Command.
Through the adoption of a 5-step action plan tagged Rakai, the Oyo State Police Command, under the leadership of CP Ayodele Shonubi, is committed to operate a firm and intelligence-led policing in line with world-based practices.
I attest to the prevalence of pocket security challenges in the state, to which I know we've been doing a lot to stem the tide, and we'll step up the game in that direction towards eliminating it completely. However, with your continued support, I assure the good people of the state that the command under my watch shall not tolerate the existence of any criminal enterprise. With God and the support of everyone, Oyo State will witness a robust policing and peaceful environment.
Not leaving anything to chance, the police chief met with senior officers to chart the course for a safer Oyo State. A seasoned law enforcement officer, CP Ayodele Shonubi is an alumnus of the International Law Enforcement Academy, Roswell, USA, and a member of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, USA. Having served in various capacities within and outside the Nigeria Police Force, he was in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, CID Iyagoku Ibadan, until his elevation as Commissioner of Police. CP Ayodele Shonubi assumes office after the redeployment of the 45th Commissioner of Police, AIG Adebola Hamzat, to the counter-terrorism unit at the force headquarters, Abuja, in Ibadan. Grace Anyoleke, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has strongly condemned the bomb attacks which resulted in the loss of lives and the maiming of other citizens in Gwaza, local government area of Borno State. President Tinubu described the attacks as desperate acts of terror and a clear manifestation of the pressure mounted against terrorists and success achieved in degrading their capacity to launch offensives. The president declared that the purveyors of wanton violence shall Moving on to sports. Foreign scouts stormed Yenagoa State to scout for talented youths at the 5th Governor Doye Diri's football tournament. For more on this and other sports stories, let's join Sulaiman Musa on Sports Update.
We begin with football, as plans have been concluded for the 5th Governor Doye football tournament scheduled to commence Monday, with international scouting team on ground in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State to scout for talents. As it stands, over 500 youths from 22 centers will be on parade for the talent exhibition and skills as they look to pursue professional career.
This particular scouting tournament is going to be the most exciting one in all the scouting tournaments we've had so far. In fact, I want to call it the mother of all scouting tournaments. Why? Because we have 10 international scouts coming in from Sweden, from Turkey, from Finland, and from Lithuania, and from Norway. All of them are coming into Yenagoa to watch the exciting skills of our boys.
Still on football, the 4 finalists in the just concluded 2024 President Federation Cup are smiling to the bank after receiving the sum of 105 million naira cash reward from the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF). Rivers Angels, the 2024 champions of the competition, got 25 million naira, while runners-up Nigeria Rattles got 10 million naira after a 1-0 defeat to Rivers Angels, who are winning the title for a record 9 times. Meanwhile, in the main category, El Kanemi Warriors got 50 million naira, while second place Abia Warriors were handed 20 million naira. And to Euro 2024, host Germany reached the quarter-finals after defeating Denmark in the round of 16 games. Goals from Kai Havertz and Jamal Musiala would prove decisive for the German side. Germany will now play the winner of between Spain and tournament surprise package Georgia in the quarter-finals. And finally to rugby, the 2024 Africa Cup Sevens Championship kick-off Saturday, with the Nigerian rugby team in high spirit hoping for a better outing in Mauritius. According to Nigerian Rugby Football Federation, the team is composed of foreign and home-based players ready to make the country proud. 12 countries, including Nigeria, are expected to compete in both rounds of the tournament, with Nigeria drawn in Group A alongside Kenya, Madagascar, and the host Mauritius. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
As the size of our package on Panorama today. Thanks for watching. I'm Larry Idu. Enjoy the rest of your day.